Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we're going to talk about the true meaning of jihad. This is a word that has had some controversial and volatile meaning in the way people talk, the way people converse about Islam and Muslims and geopolitics and things like that. But I want to give you a side to this word that is highly personal, highly meaningful, and very different than what you hear in the news. Jihad is a word that it comes, it occurs in the Quran. It's got, the three sounds, ja, ha, da, and it has to do with effort. It has to do with striving. It has to do with giving your undivided and focused and deliberate attention toward striving for something. So it's got this, notion of, not just trying or doing, but really intentionally and mindfully and specifically going after something. So in the news, it often comes across as this kind of militant, holy war, effort from certain types of Muslims who are in some kind of political struggle or aggravation against some party, some country, some geopolitical bloc. And the word has definitely been taken and used in that sense, but it comes from the older Arabic Quranic language that refers more to a couple of types of jihad. There is one type of jihad that is related to the early Muslim community, and when Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was first spreading the message of Islam, there were a lot of people in Mecca who did not appreciate what he was doing. They did not want him to rock the boat and be a kind of troublemaker. And so there was violence against him and his family and his followers and his early growing community. And so in the Quran, there are commandments to have a jihad against those who are fighting him, in the sense of defend yourself. Don't let them just come in and do whatever they want and harm your people and harm your family and take your possessions and defend yourself. And so jihad had this kind of connotation of defense. And later on, after the Prophet had passed away and power and authority over the Muslim community passed to many other leaders and political rulers and things like that, they used jihad in the sense of, I'm going to use this concept to expand my kingdom. And so jihad took on this kind of non-defensive, more aggressive meaning. But that is not what's in the Quran. The Quran doesn't say, go all around the world and wage war on everyone, as certain people would like us to believe that that's what the Quran says and that's what jihad means. But actually, that is not what the Quran says, and that's not what jihad means. And so jihad is really a kind of self-defense, first and foremost. And in certain spiritual circles, in certain spiritual teachings, it is the effort that you make to look at your morals, look at your standing, look at what you're doing in the world, and try to raise your moral and spiritual standards, and to kind of give yourself, if you've got a moral compass, make sure it's working. If you've got a compass that's this small, make sure it's bigger. If you've got a compass that big, make sure it's even bigger. So it is the continuous striving and improving and developing of our own moral and spiritual capacities. So the word jihad is really about self-development on the spiritual path. And so it is a spiritual practice. And, so I want to give you some examples of what this looks like. So first example is, kind of the moral one. Say you are somewhere out and about and you see somebody paying for their food or paying for their, some items that they bought at the store, and they're giving cash to the cashier, and all of a sudden out of their wallet or out of their purse, a $1 bill falls out and lands on the floor in front of you. And the person finishes paying and they're out the store, out the door, and they're on their way. Now there's a dollar in front of you that fell out of this person's wallet or purse. What do you do? Do you take the dollar and put it in your pocket? And it's only a dollar. They're not going to miss it. It's only a dollar. Or do you give it to the store and say, hey, if the person comes back, I think they dropped their money. Or do you take that dollar and go right outside and try to find that person and give it back to them? And so that voice in your head that says either, just keep it, it's not going to matter, it's just a dollar, it doesn't matter. If it was more, yeah, you could, find the person, but right now it's just a dollar. You don't want to be, it's too much trouble. The other voice says, there's somebody's money in front of you, and you have the ability to pick it up and go right outside and find them. They're probably still right outside, so go do it. And so listening to which voice, that effort that you make to determine whose voice do you listen to, that's jihad. That's jihad. That is that inner evaluation and decision making and choosing a higher moral action to take. So, you could do the very least, maybe pick up the dollar and give it to the store owner and say, hey, I think that guy dropped it. If he comes back, you could give it to him, bare minimum. And you could do more by saying, let me take that and go find that person. Or the complete opposite, what, I'm just going to leave it there, or I'm going to take it and pocket it because he's not going to be hurting just because he lost a dollar. So it's that moral evaluation and examination and making a choice to do the best, to make the best moral choice that you possibly can make. You're striving towards something. That striving is jihad. From a spiritual point of view, say you are praying, and as you are praying, all kinds of other thoughts are coming into your head. Did I leave the iron on, or did I leave the stove on, or I got to finish that report in the morning. I gotta get ready for that meeting. I've got to do X, Y, and Z. And so all your entire to-do list is coming at you while you're trying to sit and pray. Or, you had a conversation with somebody and it didn't go well, and it's kind of bothering you, and it's kind of just hooked in your head. And as you're praying, it just keeps coming back. Oh, why did I say that? Why did they say that? Wow, did they really mean that? Did I really mean that? It's just coming over and over again. So in the middle of that, you become aware that while you're trying to pray to Allah, you're getting all these distractions which can wait. until after you're done. And so you make an effort to say, let me just take a deep breath and focus and like just push the distractions away. Right now, I am praying to Allah and I am going to just stay single-minded and focused, and I am just doing this one thing. Just want to stay single-minded with this. I'm going to push those distractions away and just stay right here with Allah, feeling like I am in the presence of Allah. I'm going to say my prayers as if I am saying it to Allah, and I'm going to really focus on this. And it may not be easy, and it may not, work the first time or the second time or the third time or the fourth time or the fifth time. It doesn't matter. It's the fact that you're trying. It's the fact that you intend, and the fact that you're pushing toward that, goal, accomplishment, that I'm going to single-mindedly say my prayers and just kind of block the world out temporarily, because it's prayer time. It's not world time. World time, you can worry about the world. People time, you can worry about people. Right now it's Allah time. It's prayer time. I'm going to just focus on Allah, focus on prayer, focus on what I need to focus on. So that is a spiritual jihad, psychological jihad, jihad of the heart, jihad of the spirit, jihad of prayer. And so when you start thinking of jihad in these ways, it becomes a very useful concept. It becomes a very open concept, because all it is you're trying to do what Allah has invited you to do. You're trying to do what He has asked you to do. And distractions will come. They're part of the game. It wouldn't be human life. It wouldn't be our prayer life if the distractions weren't there. They're part of the game. It doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It doesn't mean you wanted to do it perfect and it's not working, so therefore you're not perfect. That's just a whole lot of perfectionism that you don't need. It's part of the game, right? Doing the right thing. And so here's you doing the right thing, and here's something coming to resist you doing the right thing. That's part of the game. That's how it all works. So the goal is not necessarily you going from start to finish doing everything absolutely right. Boom. It's resistance will come and you still push against it. And with the help of Allah, you push against it and you push it away and you keep going toward your goal, whatever that is. It's part of the nature of making an effort for Allah, for part of the nature of striving for Allah. So this striving is really the meaning of jihad, the spirit of jihad, the true definition of jihad. Helping others is jihad. Defending others is jihad. Improving yourself morally, spiritually, psychologically is jihad. Strength, it's not so much self-help or self-improvement. It's more like strength training. It's more like you're trying to get stronger so that you can serve God more effectively. So that is the purpose of jihad. And so it has all these beautiful meanings that get covered up because people politicize it, and people want to kind of keep repeating the fact that it's all about external aggression and battle and warfare, but it's largely internal. It's largely internal, and it's you trying to become a better human being, a good person. You trying to live up to the ideals that Allah has for you as a good person, and that is the meaning of jihad.